Hey guys, and welcome back. I wanted to let you know that insulin is the major driver of obesity. And so if you're trying to lose weight, it's a really simple process that we have to follow. So when you eat carbohydrates, which are sugars, starches, pasta, bread, even some vegetables are carbohydrates. But when you eat carbohydrates, they break down in your blood into simple sugars. And simple sugars then create a spike in insulin. Insulin's job is to actually drive those blood sugar or glucose levels down and drive that glucose into the cells to be used as energy. And so what happens is you get this big spike of glucose from eating these carbohydrates, and you get an increased amount of insulin. And you got to remember that insulin is a hormone that dictates what happens with energy when you eat it. So when insulin levels are very high, as if you're eating carbohydrates all day long, that insulin level never gets a chance to come down. If insulin levels are high, then that's going to tell your body to store that energy away as fat and or as glycogen in the muscles, and but that's a small amount. So primarily it's going to be stored as fat. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to burn your own body fat, then what you've got to do is you've got to allow those insulin levels to come down. And when those insulin levels come down to a point where your body now can utilize that energy that you ate, those carbohydrates, now you can actually burn that energy. And when you burn enough of that energy, you'll actually start to tap into your own body fat stores and then burn that as energy. So our body fat is nothing more than a storage of energy on our body. And many of us, even if you're relatively lean, you have hundreds of thousands of calories stored on your body. And if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to really lose fat. You're not really trying to lose muscle and bone and water, right? You're trying to lose fat. And so if you're trying to lose fat, you've got to tap into your body's ability to use that fat as energy. And the only way that happens is if you lower those insulin levels. So protein will spike insulin a little bit, but much, much less than carbohydrates. Fat, virtually no increase in insulin, a small bit, but nominal, not enough to really make a difference. And carbohydrates, big spikes, massive spikes. And so we've got to limit our carbohydrates. That's the easy way to then tap into your body fat stores and burn that as energy and lose weight. So keep those carbohydrates low. Prioritize the proteins, don't fear the fat, and reduce those carbohydrates. If you're really brave and you're like me, you wanted to make the most out of the impact that your diet can do in terms of lowering those insulin levels, then check out the carnivore diet, because the carnivore diet can really bring those insulin levels down almost to the point of fasting. So it's sort of a fasting mimicking diet. However, you can simply cut out the processed foods, cut out the cereals and the chips and the crackers and the cookies and the cakes and the pastas and the bread and all of that stuff. Really minimize those carbohydrates, bring those insulin levels down. And once those insulin levels are nice and low, you'll tap into your body fat stores and burn that as energy and get rid of that excess subcutaneous visceral fat. We'll get into more of that later on down the line. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you figure out the easy way of losing weight, and I'll see you in the next video.